we need to talk about Alabama quarterback Mac Jones. In the national championship, he was 36 for 45 passing at 464 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I look at Mac Jones. I strongly believe this guy is an NFL quarterback. I'm a big fan of the guy. I think he's a first-round pick. And a lot of people doubt him. A lot of people say that he only did well because he's got amazing receivers around him. He's got Najee Harris and Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle. And look, first of all, remember Joe Burrow at LSU also had amazing players around him. It's not, just because you have good teammates does not necessarily mean you're not going to be a good NFL quarterback. It's kind of a silly thing. People love to simplify, and also people love to hate on anybody who wins. Here's really the question you have to ask. There's a couple of them. Does he have NFL traits? Does he have NFL habits? And then also, does a quarterback elevate his receivers, or do the receivers elevate him? There have been moments when I've watched college football and I've gone, oh, that quarterback's only good because of the system he plays in, or because he's throwing the ball up to amazing receivers who are taking a 5-yard slant, running for a 50-yard touchdown, and you're not seeing enough high-level NFL throws downfield. When I watch Mac Jones, definitely he'll throw a 5-yard screen for a long touchdown. You're like, wow, I mean, that's just because he's got good teammates. And that happens for sure. But also, there are moments where Mac Jones really, really elevates his teammates. There are throws to Devontae Smith that I'm like, that's not just a good catch, that's a great throw. Or that's a throw. There was a throw in the national championship against Ohio State where Ohio State, for whatever reason, left a linebacker matched up on Devontae Smith. But he recognized the matchup, made a beautiful throw up over that defense. I'm like, you can say like, oh, it's a mismatch, yada yada, but he had to recognize the mismatch and make a great throw. I watched Mac Jones this year elevate the people around him. He wasn't just being elevated by the people around him. And so because he makes Alabama star players even better, I go, man, I like what Mac Jones is doing. And I got to be very honest, going into the year, I completely wrote off Mac Jones in my head. I went, oh, another tall Alabama quarterback. He's just a typical guy. He's another A.J. McCarron. Like, oh, okay. Like, we saw A.J. McCarron win a national championship at Alabama, and we all could see, like, he's being elevated by the people around him. No. Mac Jones is not A.J. McCarron. Mac Jones is a really good quarterback who's doing amazing stuff, and he's really good at identifying coverages. He's really good at working through progressions. He's not super mobile, but what he can do, even though he can't run around a lot, Mac Jones can move within the pocket and keep a play alive and slide left and right. I thought a couple years, 2 years, 3, however long ago, whenever Jake Fromm played for Georgia, I watched Jake Fromm at Georgia not really move very well in the pocket. He was a statue behind his offensive line. He just didn't have to do a lot. He was never challenged to have to move in the pocket. And I thought that was an underdeveloped part of Jake Fromm's game. That's not the case with Mac Jones. Mac Jones has developed that part of his game. He moves well, slides well in the pocket, keeps plays alive when he needs to. And he's got good pocket presence. It matters, and he has great footwork. It matters there. Now, I encourage you to go watch Alabama's 3rd and goal from the 5-yard line against Ohio State. They did not score a touchdown, but they threw the ball down to like the 6-inch-yard line. And you can see Mac Jones catches the snap, works all the way across the field, back to the left, like his 4th or 5th read in his progression. And he threw the ball to the pylon. Was unfortunately not a touchdown, but it was a great completion and a good job identifying where to working all the way through his progression, finding the open man. I'm like, that's a guy who very quickly can identify coverage and get through a progression. He's good on the goal line. He's good on 3rd down. And he can beat a blitz by throwing. If you blitz Mac Jones, he's not going to try to run or do something stupid. He's going to say, okay, no problem. I'll find my best matchup and beat the blitz with a throw. That's exactly how you handle a blitz. And somehow it's very overlooked. I don't really understand how this is possible, but Mac Jones has a huge arm and is very accurate downfield, and it feels like nobody gives him credit for it. I think Mac Jones has a better arm than Tua does. Like, Tua, last year at Alabama, was good and great, but I think Mac Jones is bigger and has a stronger arm than Tua did. And when I watch Mac Jones, I see Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan, the Falcons quarterback, who, oddly enough, was also coached by Steve Sarkisian in Atlanta. Now, the San Francisco 49ers have the 12th overall pick, and I don't know that Justin Fields or Zach Wilson or Trevor Lawrence are going to fall all the way down to the 12th overall pick. And I don't think it needs to happen. I don't think it matters. Because I really believe that Mac Jones paired up with Kyle Shanahan, the coach in San Francisco, would be a very, very special match together. They would do some special stuff together. And the last time that Kyle Shanahan had a quarterback with the skill set like that, Matt Ryan won the NFL MVP. So Mac Jones and Kyle Shanahan, I don't think people are like, the 49ers need to trade up and go get Zach Wilson. I don't think so. I think Mac Jones with the 49ers would be amazing. And because they have a lot of talent around, whoever quarterback is going to play in San Francisco next year, they've got a good defense. They've got an amazing coach. I think Mac Jones fits in perfectly there and would be a home run in San Francisco. Because Mac Jones is great at pushing the ball vertically downfield, which I believe is Jimmy Garoppolo's weakness as a quarterback. And physically, Mac Jones is an upgrade over the 49ers' current quarterback, Jimmy Garoppolo. Now also, Mac Jones is very patient. He processes defenses at a high level. And I want to just be very clear. I believe in Mac Jones. Mac Jones is a guy who I believe, with the right team, the right coaching staff, would be very, very successful in the NFL. And if you pair him up with Kyle Shanahan, oh, that's a scary, scary thought. Now here's the question. Will Mac Jones go to the NFL? I think he will, but he could stay in school. And if he stays at Alabama in college, I think it's unlikely Mac Jones has an even better year next year because you're losing 3 key NFL players. Losing your running back, Najee Harris, losing your receiver, Jalen Waddle, and of course you're losing your amazing receiver, Heisman Trophy winning receiver, Devontae Smith. So I don't know how you lose those 3 high-level NFL players and get better next year, and not just get better, but do better next year statistically and make better throws. I think the draft stock for Mac Jones is as high as it's ever going to be. I think he should capitalize on it, but also I think he's ready. And the only reason why Mac Jones should stay in college rather than go to the NFL is if he believes he needs more experience to prepare for the NFL. The question really is, does Mac Jones feel ready to step up to the next level of football and play football against much more complicated defenses with and against grown men, guys in their 20s, late 20s, early 30s, late 30s? Does he feel prepared to play at a higher level? If he does, he should go to the NFL. If he's not sure and he's like, I don't know, I'm ready, stay in college, take the challenge on, and get prepared for the next level. But I believe he is ready, and I would love to see Mac Jones paired up with Kyle Shanahan on the San Francisco 49ers. And if that doesn't work out, hey, another team he could go to, and I think still be very successful, is I think he could go to the Washington football team and have a good career. I like Mac Jones. He's a first-round pick, and a lot of people doubt him. Go ahead and doubt him. The guy has NFL habits. He beats, blitzes. He's got a great ability to process defenses, and he's a really good physical specimen at quarterback. He can throw the ball very well downfield. And it matters. He's got a huge arm. He's very accurate, got a lot of arm strength. And when you look at a guy like, let's say, Gardner Minshew, Jimmy Garoppolo, Mitchell Trubisky, even Drew Brees, like physically, he's an upgrade over all those guys with his ability to throw the ball downfield. And so I love Mac Jones. I'm a big fan. I think he's an NFL quarterback. I want to put that out now. So answer that question. I love Mac Jones. I believe he's a great, successful future NFL quarterback.